his importance to Smash Brothers? I think he's very important.
I think very important, and I think Smash Brothers was also important to Luigi.
Oh, how so?
Just, I mean, you sort of touched on it a little bit earlier, where he started off as kind of just like a palette swap, and then he, with his different games and stuff, he grew in his differentiation from Mario. I think Smash Brothers was a big part of that. I mean, he's always been playable, but like that's when you started getting like a very different Luigi, a very not Mario Luigi. Mm-hmm. So I think Luigi's important to Super Smash Brothers, but I think Super Smash Brothers was a way for people to feel confident about giving Luigi that autonomy, because everything's an experiment in its early stages. So I think that helped the developer's ability to progress with him as well.
Young Junk!
Listen, you jerk, here comes a new challenger.
Listen, you jerk, I didn't learn about secret characters until about a year after the game came out.
Whoa, is that true? Welcome to Listen, You Jerk, where we're doing our first secret character from the original Mario, not Mario, the original Smash Brothers 64. Is that true? You didn't know?
I didn't. I just never I mean, in terms, I knew it, but I never really unlocked them because I wasn't playing. I was always Kirby, so I just didn't really care to.
So Luigi, for most people, is the first guy you unlock because you do it just, I think, by beating the Mario Bros in like a certain speed.
Right.
And I think it's relatively easy to do. And then you get the screen that, now is comical at this point for how many characters have been introduced as guest characters. Yeah. But this is the first.
Right.
And it's Luigi.
Right. I would always, I played almost exclusively multiplayer for a while before I even thought to play story
mode. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense because you unlock everyone else in story mode.
Right.
But when you get Luigi, either you beat arcade mode in a certain time to get Luigi. I don't know. You've unlocked him a couple times, but in the original 64, I feel like it was something you had to do on the Mario Bros stage in order to unlock him.
I think it was just beating it.
You think so?
I think so.
Might have been. But for a lot of these characters, there was like a specific thing to do. But here comes a new challenger meant you had to fight. So you had to win the battle in order to unlock the character. And that was so thrilling for me as a kid of like,
if you miss, you got to do it again.
You got to do the challenge again.
Especially because the internet wasn't as big of a thing, or we weren't on it, I guess, as much. So it's not like, you could just be like, how do I unlock all the characters and go bang it out real quick.
Exactly. So it was a surprise.
Exactly.
And it was a lot of fun. And then when Luigi came in, you would expect it to be kind of a clone of Mario because, let's face it, that's originally what he was.
Right.
But no, Luigi came in and they went for, I don't know if Smash Brothers was the first time they went, we're making Luigi weird. They just decided to go weird on him. He is not a Mario clone. Some would argue he is better in places than Mario. So who is Luigi? Luigi is Mario's little brother. They are twins, canonically, but he is little brother. He was always taller and playable since Super Mario Brothers, but really was just a palette swap back then.
Yeah.
And then in 2 is where they gave him a little more of a change in that now he had this higher jump. He could jump higher than Mario, but it's a little wacky and his feet keep going. And in the cartoon series and whatnot, they made him nervous. Like he was not as strong and tough. And still to this day, he's a nervous character. In GameCube era is kind of where he came out way out of his shell, though, and starred in the Luigi Mansion series, which he would take those moves with him and that characterization for the rest of the games. So Mario 64, this is the first time we've been able to play as Luigi since Super Mario World, which is hard to believe, but it's true, and not including the carts and party games and whatnot. But what they do with him is they make him kind of like akin to Mario's Ryu. And I mean that literally as we get into the moveset. His B-up is a flaming uppercut sometimes. So it's literally the Shoryuken, the flaming Shoryuken from Street Fighter.
Right.
Which, that was cool to see, even in kind of the earliest games. And that was his...
He had a lot of... He had way better access to like Fireball and Flame and stuff than Mario did, for sure.
Everything he did, all of his special moves were better than Mario's. He had a green Fireball that didn't drop. It stayed
it kept going,
Yeah. So if you just wanted a straight shot, then, Luigi was your guy. And he did it in like a cool little snap way.
Yeah.
That was a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun. They also, this is the first time I remember they switched his pants Now he is purple pants.
Interesting.
Luigi. He was always, right over your shoulder. Actually, is the Mario costume. He was always blue overalls, red shirt. I guess he was white shirt or white overalls and green shirt in the original. But when they started dressing the same, eventually they gave him purple pants, which I know Wario sported as well. But yeah, they went with that version of Luigi as kind of the man that you could be. Also, just a fun thing for Luigi was his costumes. Like they leaned into him being weird and being quite effeminate.
Right.
By giving him a bright pink Valentine's Day special Luigi costume.
It was great.
That's the only way to play.
Hot pink. Yeah,
Hot
like
pink.
Barbie pink.
Yeah, it was hot pink. It was hilarious. His moves were like weird and like he would do like, butt slams and just, he was flamboyant. Luigi was flamboyant, in all the best ways. Like his B down move originally was the spinning tornado, but longer.
Yep.
And his you could move left and right.
Yeah.
I don't think you could move Mario's left and right.
I think it would move, but you couldn't do it. I think it would just kind of like.
Oh, really?
It wouldn't like move, but I think it would just kind of like.
Luigi's you could start it and then run into something.
Right.
And then his B move was the fireball. His B up was the Shoryuken, which is all you needed in the original. When they go to Melee, Luigi's Mansion had already come out. So I'm pretty sure at that time, did you get some of your Luigi's Mansion stuff?
I think by that time I had fully phased out of using Luigi, so I'm not really sure.
Interesting. I do know that they gave him a cool B right move, which is where he would charge up and blast to the right.
I do remember that.
Which was his own whole move. And then his super move was definitely from Luigi's Mansion, but weird and hilarious. It was like the green mist or something, where if you got caught, he would just start doing this dance.
Yeah, I do
like
remember that. It was like a poison gas or something.
Crazy dance.
Yeah.
And like demons would come and like get him because it's like him bringing the ghost world or something like that. It was weird. But I feel like his B down eventually became the vacuum. I want to say it did. Maybe it didn't. I'll look it up eventually. But not right now.
Fair.
So interesting moveset, not a exact copy. Like Dr. Mario and Mario, they're pretty much the same.
They are, yeah.
Whereas Mario to Luigi, totally different character and played totally different. And later on in the series, just became even more and more different in personality and everything. As far as playing as him, I've always had fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it for sure. I'm one of those nonconformists that isn't gonna, say, oh, like Mario's my favorite just because. So I enjoyed playing with Luigi because he was supposed to be that foil, but he was so different. Like that was something I enjoyed, and that was one of those ones where the moveset was. I'm not saying basic, but it was standard. It was just you had a little bit of everything, and it was a little bit better than Mario, like you said, and I agree with that. So I also enjoyed playing with him.
Yeah, I just love that they just snuck in secret moves on him. Like that B up, the fact that it is a smash.
Right.
And if you nail it, you feel real good.
Right. And that's a testament to that's something I love about old video games before. And again, this is before like you go on the internet and just find like puzzle answers and stuff. But like I love like secret rooms in video games, like little things developers dropped in there. I think that was Super Smash Brothers' kind of version of that. Is sneaking in like random like powerful moves that ended up becoming ultimates or smash moves in later games.
So the poltergust or vacuum is used as his final smash in later games.
Okay.
But I remember the dance.
Right.
I remember the weird
like a seance or whatever
dancing
he was doing.
thing. The thing I loved about Luigi was his taunt. His taunt, he would just like, like they've just made him so fun and so weird.
It's goofy.
Yeah. And he's retained that, when you see him in Mario Party or you see him in Mario Tennis or you see the evil eye in Mario Kart, remember that? He's retained like he's cowardly, but now strange as well.
Right.
He's just out there doing his Luigi thing, and I love every part of it.
I like it too.
As far as playing as him, it is like a floatier Mario. The jumps are higher.
A little more graceful.
It's fun to play through like adventure mode with him on like not very hard, but hard.
Right.
Because he's got moves that are fun to land and he's fun to play with. And He has like a meteor smash too, just like Mario does, where you can hit people straight down. So he was a fun character to experiment with. And I just love that they made him different. It's not a palette swap. And even in the 64 version, it's not a palette swap, which is great. Did you ever play as him?
Here and there. I would never really choose him, but we did a lot of in my house. We did a lot of like randoms.
Yeah.
So like I've played with everybody. If I was given a choice, and I had decided we were gonna keep rotating, I would always end up using Luigi. So I definitely would use him. Like I said, I usually stick to my guns on my main usually, but when we're rotating around, yeah, Luigi's definitely someone I would pick.
Yeah, Luigi is fun. I am a sucker for his B right move.
Yeah.
So instead of using the jump to get back on, if I can, I'd rather do, I think it's called the Luigi bullet. Just blast off to the side into it. But I also have screwed that up more times than I can count.
Absolutely.
Just gone flying off the side.
Right.
So it's interesting that they throw a move in there that can be devastating, but if you miss it, you're dead. He ends up getting... well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Playing against Luigi can be frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
Can be frustrating, especially if it's the Mario Brothers.
Right.
So I think that's where he shows up. I think in the original story mode, you fight Mario Brothers.
Interesting.
And that's where you see Luigi, or maybe that's how you get him, as you fight the Mario Brothers. But it is awesome, when you get trapped in like that up fire.
Yeah, they definitely complement each other very well.
Yeah.
Like very well.
Well, they're brothers.
Right. But I mean, in terms, even just in the gameplay, like they made them very, like a very cohesive duo.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I welcome the challenge of going up against Luigi. I have never met like a top tier Luigi player. So it would be nice to like see someone who's really, really good at Luigi. Actually, in the comments, that would be great. If anyone's like, knows where we can see really, really good players of any of these characters, I'd love to watch and just see, like, is there a Luigi out there that can take down like a Meta Knight?
Meta Knight's so fun.
Yeah.
Meta Knight. Now we want to talk about better versions of Kirby. Meta Knight, I will field that argument.
Yeah, I think they're the same type of being. I think they're both star warriors, whatever that means.
I mean, well, Meta Knight is the foil to Kirby in the story.
Yeah, but then they become friends.
Yeah, but I mean,
and they help out. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't played the latest Kirby for Switch,
I have not yet. I do plan on it.
I completed it.
Did you?
It was that good.
Awesome.
I completed it. It is so fun and so cool. And the developers throw a couple things in there that make it easy to complete. But we're talking about Luigi.
Right.
Luigi's got some stages. I played the original Luigi's Mansion, so Luigi's Mansion does make an appearance. Obviously, he's part of the Mario Mushroom Kingdom and whatnot. But I definitely like that they included Luigi's Mansion in the later games, and so that he's not just a Mario; he's his own thing,
right? Which
is fun, and it adds to like a spookiness of it. So it was nice that he got his own stage,
right?
As far as his importance to Smash Brothers, I think he's very important.
I think very important, and I think Smash Brothers was also important to Luigi.
Oh, how so?
Just, I mean, you sort of touched on it a little bit earlier, where his, he started off as kind of just like a palette swap, and then he, with his different games and stuff, he grew in his differentiation from Mario. I think Smash Brothers was a big part of that. I mean, he's always been playable, but like that's when you started getting like a very different Luigi, a very not Mario Luigi. So I think Luigi's important to Super Smash Brothers, but I think Super Smash Brothers was a way for people to feel confident about giving Luigi that autonomy, because everything's an experiment in its early stages. So I think that helped the developers' ability to progress with him as well.
That is a well-spoken, thought-out response to Luigi's importance to Smash Brothers.
Thanks, man.
I like that. I think he's super important because he's the first secret character, and it shows that they weren't being lazy with their secret characters. It's like, yes, the Mario Brothers should be in it. It's the first time the brothers have been back since Mario World. That is, that speaks to the name. Super Smash Brothers. You got to have the Super Mario Bros. In there, and the fact that right off the rip they did it, and they kind of were like, maybe he's not in there.
Right.
Maybe, because they'd been jerking us around for years. He was supposed to be in Mario 64. Recently, there was footage that came out that showed that there was a playable Luigi in there at one point, but that he was cut at the last minute. We have all wanted Luigi. Luigi wasn't allowed in Super Mario RPG.
Nope.
He wasn't allowed in Paper Mario. He was, but as like a side.
Right.
Like he just relegated. I remember RPG was the saddest because if you open the manual to Super Mario RPG, the first thing you see is Luigi, and he says, "Hey, I'm not in this game, but I'm here to walk you through the manual." And it's like, my dude, they did my dude dirty. So it was nice to see that the developers cared about bringing him back into our lives and bringing the brothers back, and also giving him a bunch of secrets and cool upgrades. Yeah, I love games where developers are thinking of you, and Sakurai, spelled Sakurai, did a great job of including this in the first game and keeping him in the rest of the games. More secret characters. We got so hyped for secret characters and whatnot. So he was the first, and I'm so glad that they chose him.
Yeah, the unlockable, I actually can't think of anything where before that. I'm sure there is.
Were you
but
ever
I can't
cared?
No. Well, no, not necessarily that I didn't, but I don't remember secret characters or unlockable characters and anything before Super Smash Bros.
I don't remember the hype around it.
Right. Because even like,
right.
I don't know, even because like I'm like that would probably be my earliest memory of it. I'll say that, but like even games like Dynasty Warriors and stuff, where like you kind of like know what you need to do to unlock people, or like part of you start with like a core group of people and then unlock. Like I mean, Smash Brothers has stuck to that their entire career at this point.
And some of the Smash Brothers ones you didn't know until the Here Comes a New Challenger screen comes up, and you just see the outline. And you're like, holy shit! When we got in the internet age, that's the most fun I've had on the internet. Was when they were announcing the guest characters and whatnot. Is there another one of those coming? Are they releasing more characters, or are they done with Ultimate?
I think Ultimate has had two different, like I don't remember. I think they call them battle passes or something, something like that. But Ultimate has had two so far. I thought there was one more left that hadn't been released on that second battle pass, but it's now been long enough where there's no way that's possible.
I don't think so. I think they filled it, but Switch 2 is supposedly coming this year in 2024. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And also, I don't know what they're going to do because the Switch is still selling.
It is.
I don't know if they have to upgrade.
They keep I think that's the reason to do a Switch 2 is to upgrade it, but people are still buying it because
That's what I mean. Why spend the money on the upgrade? Well, they've always developed.
Right. I mean, it's gonna. Yeah. I mean, they're like they did the Slim. They did like the only portable version. Like the G. Like basically a souped up Game Boy Advance or whatever. But they've given us different avenues for it, so people that don't have one are getting it, and it's cheaper. But us original Switch purchasers are ready for an upgraded sledgehammer of a Switch, so please do that for me, Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is like there's only so far they can push these characters' models,
right?
Because you still want them to be a little cartoon.
I like the cell shading and stuff, but the Legend of Zelda series is doing a great job of that. Like they kept that cell shading, but it's still gorgeous game.
Also, just to go out on Luigi, the Simon Belmont character reveal with Luigi getting killed by Dracula is incredible. Yeah. Is incredible. So, Luigi, I'm glad he's here. Next time on Listen You Jerk, we'll talk about another secret character, so we won't reveal it now. This has been Secret Smash Brothers. Listen You Jerk with Ozzy and Terry. Thanks for watching. We love you.
Bye.